Some students are coming in the meantime, that's the problem. Okay, so if I compare join operation with nested query, then remember nested query will be better. Again, two kinds of nested query operation. One is single query, single row operation, single row subqueries, and one is multiple row. Now directly I'm moving to the student database, your experiment. Okay, so this thing we have already practiced, the student database under experiment 4. We have already created some tables. Again, I'm repeating this thing. Okay, 2 to 3 minutes, just give me a time, just give me time, so that I can explain what is this database. This database is describing about an university, a sub schema of a university, where we have not added the library part or some other part. Okay, so here only it is academic part only. Okay, so in this academic section of a university, okay, you can give a proper name of the database, later it is academic database, where these three entities are participating. Okay, so this is in a particular instance telling which faculty is what is teaching which course and which students have enrolled under that faculty. Okay, now see here there are three entities. Okay, so one is student, one is faculty, and one is course, and these are the attributes of every entities. Okay, you can see here SID is the primary attribute and the remaining attributes are also given. Okay, for faculty FID is the primary attribute, other two attributes are given, and course is the C name is the primary attribute, or you can say primary key, and the three attributes are also given. And excluding this three entity, we have two relationships. Okay, now I'll ask how many tables you need to create. So in this year, student to course, the relationship is enrolled, and from faculty to course, the relationship is teachers. Another case is what? The enrolled is a many to many relationship. Okay, and teachers is a one to many relationship. Okay, because we told the type of relationship, cardinality of relationship will decide, okay, whether we need a separate table for that relationship or not. Okay, for entity we need always a table. For relationship, whether while implementing this in MySQL, while implementing this in relational schema, whether we need a separate table for relationship or not. Okay, so now see here in this relationship is a many to many relationship. By default, if the relationship is many to many, then we need a separate table. So that's why to maintain this relationship, okay, so we need a student table, we need a course table, and we need a enrollment table. Please remember the attribute name. Okay, so student course, this course is keeping the details of the course, student is keeping the details of the student. Then what about this enrolled? This enrolled will keep the relationship. It means one attribute from course, that is CNAME, and one attribute from student, that is SID. Okay, so here this enrolled will store a composite primary key. Okay, so at a time this SID and CNAME will be the primary key. Okay, so a separate table. Now how many table you created for particularly for this part? Student, enrolled, and course. Then coming to this teachers part, faculty table is created. Now coming to this teachers part, this is not a many to many relationship. If this is not a many to many relationship, then we'll check what is the participation kind. The participation is total. Since both side is total, then we don't need this table, teachers table we don't need. If the participation is some any side is partial, then we need a separate table. But remember, there are two conditions satisfying. Okay, so first condition is one many has two options. You may create this table, you may not create this table. When to create this table? If any side is partial. If since both sides are total, we don't need this teachers table. Okay, as our teachers to keep this teachers information, we don't need a separate table in relational schema. Then how to keep this relationship? We will keep this relationship by adding a foreign key. Okay, so see here, so we have added a foreign key. Which foreign key? FID. So FID is not an attribute of course. Listen, FID is not an attribute of course. Okay, course ID is attribute of course, but what is this FID? FID is an attribute of faculty. So why we are keeping faculty ID here? Because to keep this relationship, so that we not create likewise in what enrollment relationship we have created one separate table, but teachers will not create a separate table. Then how to keep this relationship? By adding a foreign key of faculty to FID. Okay, then why we are not adding foreign key of course to faculty? Okay, why we are adding foreign FID here? Why we are not adding CNAME here? Because always remember the one side is important. Okay, the one side is called what? Master. The n side will be called, okay, slave. So that's why slave will always depend on master. So that's why course will depend on faculty. Faculty will not depend on course. in a one many kind relationship. So that's why course has FID as foreign key, that is referring to this FID of faculty. So now if I ask how many tables for this experiment 9 we need to create, so one table is student, that will keep only the details of the student. One table will be course, that will keep only the details of course. One table will be enrolled, that will keep the relationship between student and course. One table will be faculty, okay, that will keep the details of faculty. Then what about this teachers? No table for teachers. Okay, to keep this relationship we are adding this faculty ID. So total 4 tables we need to create, 3 entities and 1 relationship. Faculty, student are entities and enrolled is a relationship. So now moving to this thing, okay, we have already here 2 or 4 tables we have created, student, course, enrolled, faculty. And remember the course table name we have changed later by class. Okay, if you remember that experiment 4, the course table we have renamed it by class. So we have 4 tables. I'll show in my what is that laptop. Okay, so it is there, the student, course, student, class, enrolled and faculty. So I'm sharing the screen. Okay, you see here my SQL prompt. Okay, so my SQL prompt you can see here. So I'm showing you what are the tables available. Okay, I'm making it capital. What is that case? Okay, so why they are asking now? Why they are asking Suhas? Okay, some students are coming now. The problem. Okay, so here, so okay, Sumit, my SQL prompt is visible. Any one of the students, just can you tell SQL prompt is visible?
Sure.
Okay, so now here I'm showing you those tables. I'm showing you those tables. See here, these are the tables. Forget about the student details. Okay, student details are not required for experiment 9. Okay. So one will be class, one will be one will be class, one will be enrolled, one will be faculty, one will be student. So a class, enrolled, faculty and student. Okay, so I'm showing the records also. So here select star from so I'm moving to the first tables here. Select star from student. Select star from student. At least you can write as a observation note here. Okay, so what are the records I have inserted? You can see 6 records. Okay, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105 and 106. Okay, so these 6 records I have added. Okay, then what about enrolled? Similarly, you can see here, select star from enrolled. Okay, okay, the second entity table I'm showing you. So this is faculty. Okay, so see here so many records we have added as per experiment 4, and this thing also I am continuing with this experiment 9. The third table is what? This is another entity table, that is class. It is not course. Okay, we have renamed this course to class. You can see here. Please remember the attribute name. And then finally, and this is enrolled. Okay, the fourth table is a relationship. Okay, it is nothing but enrolled. Okay, so under this table, now see here, if I ask what are the information we have kept under student, only this information is only for student only. Okay, and this is for faculty only, faculty ID, name, address and department ID. Okay, then something here class, what class is keeping, please remember the attribute name. One is class name. Okay, the name, what is that, room number. Okay, meet start, the time, this is the room number, this is the section, and this is the faculty ID, which faculty is taking this class. Okay, and then now see here, I told you where is the teachers relationship. The teachers relationship is here. Okay, in this class only, because this class is keeping faculty ID. So which faculty is taking which class? So this is nothing but your teachers relationship. So there is no other or separate relationship you have created. So this is, you can see what, teachers relationship. Okay. So now coming to what is that, enrolled. What is enrolled? Enrolled is a relationship between what? You can see here. This is keeping the attribute of student and what is this? Course name. So this is a enrolled the relationship between student and what is that? The course. Okay, because it is keeping student number and course name. So this is a relationship between two entities, student and course or class. Okay, you can say it is class name or course name, any name. Okay, so these are the records we have inserted. Okay, so now moving to the first query of experiment 9. Okay, you can see first query is what? After insertion we have inserted the value. Okay, so first query is not nesting of queries. First query is a joining operation. Okay, we are comparing this joining operation. to the nesting of queries. So first query is a though we are explaining nesting of queries, but the first query we have given as a join operation. Okay, so you can see here what is this question and how many tables we need to join. So question is what? Find the name, the query one. You can start writing query one. Likewise, we did in the previous experiment. Observation query number one. So this will be your query number one, and then this will be the output of the query. Okay, please. Okay, query number one. This will be the solution. Then output of the query I'll show you. Okay. So now here, find the names of all juniors. First tell how many tables we need here. So since it is asking all juniors, find the names of all juniors. Juniors are nothing but the student. So we need a student table here. Okay. And it is asking from the student the name of the student. Okay. Then the first condition is what? Label is junior. So this label I can find from student table. Okay. So still up to this, what is that part? We need student table. Then next page. Okay. It is telling what? Who are enrolled. So since it is asking for who are enrolled in a class, so we need that enroll table. So the enroll table will tell which student is enrolled to which class. Okay. So that's why we need student table, we need enroll table. Then coming to a class taught by Professor Narasimha. Since it is given a name of a professor, so then we need a faculty table. So we need student table, we need enroll table, we need faculty table. Again, in that faculty table, so how to know that which faculty is teaching which course? Okay, so that's why, because it is telling a class taught by Professor Narasimha. So to know which professor teaching which class, so we need a class table also. Okay, because there is no separate teachers table. Okay, so there is a class table that is present the faculty's information, the faculty ID is course ID, so that from that class table we will know what is the course name of Professor Narasimha. Okay, so once we know a course name, then this course name will be joined with enrolled to give us the details of the student which is enrolled to that class. Then once we know the student name, okay, so then or the student will not get the student name from enrolled, will get student number. From student number again we'll combine or we'll q join operation to find the names of the students. Okay, so that's why we need 4 tables. One is student table to fetch the name of the student, and the condition is label must be junior. One must be faculty table to check where Narasimha is present, Professor Narasimha. Then this faculty table will be equijoined, okay, with the class table to know. Okay, actually we are joining with the teachers table to know which subject the Professor Narasimha is teaching. So once we know that, then we will go to the enrollment table. From the enrollment table, we will find the class and the corresponding student ID. Then we'll combine this thing. So that's why, so here we need a student table. Okay, we need a student table. And the, what is that? Alias name for student is S. We need, okay, after student table, we need enrollment table. Okay, so this is enroll table. The alias name is E. Okay, then we need also faculty table, faculty F. The alias name is F. Then we also need the class table or the course table, because to know the faculty is teaching which class or which course. Okay, so that's why we need this class table. Now say how this 4 tables will be joined. So this is a eq join operation. Okay, so student will be joined with enrolled. Okay, so eq s dot the common attribute s dot s number equal to e dot s number. Then this enrolled will be joined with class. How? E dot c name will equal to c dot c name. Then finally this class will be joined with faculty. How? The c dot c name, okay, or c dot faculty id. Okay, because it's keeping the teacher's relation. So in the class there is a faculty id, the last attribute. So c dot faculty id equal to f dot faculty id. So this thing again I am repeating here. We need student details. So student will be eq joined with enrolled. Okay, then enrolled will be eq joined with class. Okay, then class will be eq joined with faculty with their common attributes. It is written. Okay, so s dot s number is eq joined with e dot s number. Then e dot c name eq joined with c dot c name. Then c dot fid eq joined with f dot fid. Another 2 conditions, what is that? Label must be junior. So you can find label from student. So s dot label equal to junior, and you can find professor name from faculty table f dot f name Narasimha. So here this is the query. You can write this query from your shared what is that Word document. I'm copying this query. Okay, and I'm executing. It will not work in my SQL prompt because this comma and that comma are different. So that's why I'm start typing. Okay, so why distinct clause we are using? Because to, so that the student name should not be repeated. So that's why reason for distinct. So see here, concentrate here. I'm writing, I'm stopping talking. Okay, so that I can concentrate on writing. So what is written here? Select the same thing I'm writing in MySQL. Okay. So this is select. You also write this query in your observation note. Distinct s dot s name. Okay, to get the name of the student from the table name is student. Student. The alias name is s, comma. Okay, you can write serially also. Student need enrollment. Okay, student need enrollment. Okay, student need enrollment. So I can write enrolled here. Please concentrate and start writing enrolled E in observation mode. Then enroll needs what? Class. So that's why class C. Then class needs faculty. Class needs faculty.
Shunda, please mute yourself.
Okay. So class needs faculty. So faculty. Okay. Then what we'll write? We'll apply equivalent operation. So first, what is that equivalent? Equivalent will be student dot s number. Okay. So s dot s number equal to e dot s number and e dot c name equal to c dot the common attribute c dot c name and f dot fid or c dot fid. Okay, f dot fid equal to c dot fid. So this is the thing. This is the common because now here the first s number and e name. So this is combining or applying equivalent with student and enrolled. Then this one e dot c name, c dot c name. This is the equivalent. Then c dot fid and faculty dot fid. Then another condition is there. What is that condition? The second condition is what students must be okay level. So that's why again you put and condition. Okay, and s dot level must be junior. S dot level must be junior. So that's why I'm writing in JR. Okay, and another is what faculty name. So that's why and again faculty name. So f dot f name. You write the attribute correctly. F dot f name equal to Narsima. It's not Professor Narsima in the table. So that's why I'm writing Narsima. Okay, the question is Professor. Okay, but in while inserting it's only Narsima. So that's why this is the first query of experiment 9. I'm here. I'm executing now. What we'll get here some error we are getting because maybe some things here attribute name we have not checked. Select distinct s dot s name from student s enrolled e label junior and f dot f name. Okay, enrolled e class C faculty f. Okay, here something mistake. Okay, where condition is missing. Okay, that is the reason. So that's why be careful while writing. Okay, so I missed where clause. Okay, faculty f directly I wrote. Okay, so this thing you should write. Okay, so this is where WHERE. Okay, where s dot s name because of equivalent we need to mention that one. Okay, so now I'm entering. You can see here what we are getting. Okay, so please write this query and the answer will be Abhi distinctly. So it means what Abhi is the student which is enrolled in a class which is taught by Professor Narsima and also and the level of Abhi is junior. Okay, you can check the tables, but now you write this output. After writing this, the query number 1, the solution will be this one, and the output of this query will be this one. And also you can write one row in set 1. Similarly, I'm moving to once you write, please write 1 minute of time in your observation note. Okay, always keep this thing. Next is what? Okay, so you only write the output. The query you can copy from your shared documents in Edge. Okay, so next I'm moving to second query. Now here in the second query what is written, I'll explain likewise you practice. So here now see. Okay, so this is another easy question. Now the first query you have explained, it is not nesting of queries. This is a joining operation. Joining and nesting of queries are same. Only the difference is what when the tables contain more record, that time you can add, you can replace join by nesting of queries. Now this second query is will explain, and this is coming from this is the explanation of particular example of nested query. So find the names of all classes. Find the names of all classes. You can solve this thing by join also, but don't solve by join. We will specify in the question. You solve using nesting of queries. Okay. So find the names of all classes that either meet in room KG4. Okay. And have 5. Please check here, 5 or more. This is important. 5 or more students enrolled. So first we need to see in which what course more than 5 number or 5 or more than more students are enrolled. So how do, if I ask this question, first try to understand the meaning of the question. We need to find the names of all classes. It has two conditions. Either that class is taking out what? KG4 room number, or the second condition is what? There are more than 5 students enrolled in that particular class. So that's why see here, the first condition I can take as outer query. Okay. The first condition I can take as outer query. The second condition I can take as inner query. Okay. I cannot take both the queries at a time by putting simply and, because one is what? More than, here 5 or more than, this is what just previous to this experiment I told, one is single row query, one is multiple row queries. So this is directly you can compare with where condition. This is a single row query. But what about this 5 row and more? This is not a single row queries. So if this is a single row query, you can directly put an and, where this and this. But since both are not single row queries, one is multiple row queries and one is single row. So that's why the multiple row query I can solve in one subqueries, and the single row I can solve in another subquery. Then the common things I can keep by using equal operator or by using in any and operator. Okay. So those operator you can previously we talked. Okay. So now here the first, you can keep this thing here also. Okay. Or this thing also here. Any side you can keep inner, and any part you can keep out, not a problem. But remember always, the multiple row is always keep at inner queries. Okay. If the query is returning multiple rows, then keep it always at inner queries. Okay. So this is the inner query. So what is that multiple row condition? The multiple row case says 5 or more students. How to know 5 or more students are present in a particular class? So who is keeping the relation? Who is keeping the details of student and class? This is nothing but enrollment. So that's why enrollment is a table where we can say which student has enrolled with more than one student, or more than 2 students, or more than 5 students, or more than equal to 5 students. Okay. So that's why see here, if I select e.cname, e is nothing but enrollments alias name. Okay. So if I apply select e.cname from enrolled e group by, so this is important. Why we have applied group by? Because if you don't apply group by, we cannot find, okay, which students are combining with more than 5. If I apply here we have applied group by CNAME operation, so that in that table let 100 records are present. So as per the CNAME, it will group, then it will count. If we apply the count operation, we can only count by applying group by. If you don't use group by then count, it will count only simply the number of row present in the table. It will not count, okay, for a particular student how many courses are assigned. Okay. So that's why we need to group by first. So group by ename. So first it will group how many students are there. So each student is assigned with how many subjects. Okay. So it will make it separate up. Okay. So it means all students, okay, a particular students and all the courses assigned with that student will take in one place. Okay. So first student assigned with 5. So first row. Second student assigned with 6 student. The second next after 5th row. 5th row, then second details of the students will come. Third students assigned with one course led. So this will come as third student. So likewise it will group. Then since there is a condition 5 or more, so that's why how to check 5 or more, you count. So after grouping the student and the course number, you count it. If it is greater than or equal to 5, then filter it. Filter that course name, because we need the details of the course or class. Okay. So this is the class name, you can say. So now it is fetching, the inner query is giving the details of the class name where the number of students enrolled are more than 5. Then why you are taking this as one query? Okay, obviously this is the one query. The second query, because we need to compare whether same course or not. Then so this is in, because it is returning, it may return more than one course also. That's why there is in. Okay. Okay, in any. So in next, coming to the second condition, what is second condition? EGG. What is that? Meet sat. So meet sat is nothing but a room. Meet sat means it is a room details and it is present in class. Okay. So that's why we have added c.cname from class C, where C room number, it is mentioned in the question KG4. Okay. So it is either or. Since it is either or, so if this condition satisfy, or this condition satisfied, you fetch that one. So now I'm copying this. Okay, I'll see whether it's working or not. If it is the proper comma is there, now I'm copying this. I'll see which table or which course name I'll find. Okay, I'm moving again to MySQL prompt. Okay, so this is MySQL prompt again. I'm copying. I don't know whether there are commas, some mistake. If there is for what is that? Something the double quotation, then it cannot show. But still, I'm copying. Yeah, it is because of comma. It's not coming. I need to write those things. Okay. Select CNAME. Where is the mistake? You can see here KG4 or C.CNAME in select E.CNAME from enrollee group by E.CNAME having count. Some error is there. If you write here after star bracket something, oh, there is a space after counts here. A silly mistake means you will find error. So don't give space after count. Okay. So now I'm changing this query. I'm writing. Stop. I'm talking. Now I'm not. What is that? Explaining. I'm simply writing. See the board. Huh? So select C.CNAME from the class alias name is C, where okay C dot the first condition room is equal to kg4 okay, and or this is a second condition, it's not and or you can see the question C.CNAME, this must be in. Okay, and where select we'll find this is the first inner query select. Okay, we are finding CNAME, so CNAME from enrollment, so that's why E.CNAME, where E is alias name of enrolled from enrolled, because enroll contains CNAME also. Enroll contains CNAME and student number. So enroll the alias name is E. Then we will apply group by, so that to find and apply what is that number of courses enrolled to student. So group by okay E.CNAME okay, hubbing this is condition, because after group by means you need to use hubbing. Count, don't give space, directly write count of star. Okay, count of star greater than equal to 5, don't directly copy from what, because you see that there is space is not important, but here some extra space will give you error. So this will give me the details of the course. You can see here, you can start writing. Okay, now see here what it is giving. It is giving the class details. It is nothing but 4 CSE 10. You can see this 4 CSE 10 is assigned to room number KG4. You can see here, if it is class, where is class? Okay, class KG4. Where is KG4? Here KG4, which class name is assigned? 4 CSE 10. So we are getting 4 CSE 10 or not, this one. Similarly, if you check which student, there is no student which is assigned with more than 5 subjects. Okay, so now if I change this and, then we will not get any result, because there are no student which are assigned with more than 5 subjects. You can see here 101. Okay, this student number is assigned with how many course? 1 course, 2 course. 101 is assigned with 2 course. Okay, so if I now put it is not greater than equal to 5, I'm changing this to greater than equal to 2, then I'll get 101 also. Okay, so 101 means okay, which course? So you can see here okay, no, course is assigned with the 4 CSE 1. This is a course is assigned with now see here any, okay, this is 4 CSE 5 is the course is assigned with 2 students. So that's why I'm putting let greater than equal to 2, then I'll get 4 CSE 5 also. Okay, 4 CSE 5 also greater than equal to 2 here. If I change, not only I get 4 CSE 10, you can see here what I'm getting 2. 4 CSE 10 I'm getting from this first condition KG4, and greater than equal to 2 I'm getting from this 4 CSE 5, because this is the course that is assigned to more than and equal to 2 number of students. Okay, and for more than and equal to 5 there are no course available that is assigned with 5 students. Okay, so maximum 2 to 3. So that's why in this way you can write and you can start practicing. Okay, so this is the second query. Then moving to the third query. Okay, there are 4 or 5 queries only. Okay, now I'm moving to the again third query is also easy. Okay, now see here. Okay, third query. Okay, so experiment 9, third query. So what is third query here? This is very easy. Find the names of all students. It is asking student names who are enrolled. So we need enroll table also in 2 classes that meet at. So this is the condition. Meet at we can get from again from which table? So class table. Okay, at the same time. So this is very important. This is self join operation. Okay, I need to find all students who are enrolled in 2 classes that meets at the same time. So how to know that one? How to know that? So that's why we need we need a self join operation. Okay, now here for this case, what is self join? So self join, if sir has taught you relational algebra, there was a, okay, I'm giving what is the best example of self join. You are 60 number of students, I am asking, okay, which student has scored less mark? Okay, or I am asking which student has scored more marks? How can you compare? Okay, at a time 60 students, you cannot let, you can, okay, remember comparison always, you can compare with two students, you cannot compare 100 data at a time, you cannot compare. Okay, you are a human being, you can compare, but what about the computer system? Computer system cannot compare at a time all. The computer system can compare at a time two data. So first what it will compare, it will compare the first student's CGPA with the second student's CGPA. Then if, okay, then what it will do, which one is more, that you will compare with the third student. Then among this 1 2 3, which one is more, that will compare with the fourth student. So likewise, only one comparison at a time. Okay, so same way, if I ask, there are 30 students, how can you get, so how can you get the student which has highest CGPA? There is a query you can write in SQL. What you will do, you can apply a operation that is called self join. You combine 30 with 30, so you will get how many possible combination? You will get 30 into 30. That is called which operation? This will be called what is that? Cross join operation. So 30 into 30 will be 900 possible combination. Okay, why 900 possible combination? So first student is combined with all 30. So you can compare first student, second student CGPA, first student CGPA, first student, third student CGPA, first student, fourth. In this way, because comparison, two data we can compare. Similarly, the second student has 30 combination, third student has 30 combination. So all 30 has 30 combination, total 900 combination. Then we can put a EQ join operation. Okay, so it is a self join followed by EQ join. So that now instead of 900, it will be reduced by which, no EQ join, you don't apply EQ join, because first student CGPA I cannot compare with first student. So it should be a non-EQ join. So if I apply non-EQ join, so out of 900, it will be 900 minus 30, because the first 30, first student, second, third, so this will be removed. So remaining 830 students, you can compare. So this is the possible number of combination. So this is a question. Okay, so try to understand, this is the same type of operation. So now here we are combining student with student. The question is find the name of the students who are enrolled in two classes that meet at the same. So that's why we need two class information. Okay, and we need hence the two enrollment information. Okay, so that's why we have created, or in the tables here we are fetching the student number. The student number you can get from enrollment. So enrollment and enrollment will combine, so that the first enrollment, second enrollment, first enrollment, third, first enrollment, third, this will be compared, so that we'll find, okay, when this first enrollment, second are different, and their class name or room, what is that, the meet sort are same. Okay, so this is a, remember, whenever you apply self join operation, don't apply EQ join, always apply non-EQ join. The first enrollment and second enrollment will not. So this is a non-EQ join operation. Okay, so now another provided, so second condition is what? So same S number must be. The question is what? One students. Okay, so here what it is fetching? We are fetching the details of the student, where the E1.S number from enrolled E1, enrolled E2, class C1, class C2. The condition is what? E1.S number must be E2.S number. Okay, so it means the S number must be same, the student must be same. The question is, the student must be same, the enrolls are different. Okay, the student must be same, the enrollments are different, the class, or you can say the course names are same, the times are same. Okay, so if I fetch two students, okay, all students, okay, if I fetch two row, in that two row the student number must be same. So in a two row, if the student number are same, means it belongs to the same student. Okay, the enrollments are different, it means the class are different. Again, okay, so since two E1 and E2, and we have fetched C1, C2, so this E1 will compare with C1, and this E2 will compare with C2. Okay, so E1, like I asked one enrolled and one class. So one enrolled will compare with one. What is the common attribute of enroll and class? So that will be compare. Okay, so common attribute of enroll and class is your S number. Okay, so E1.S number, what is that common attribute? It is not, okay, So enrollment to class, the common attribute is CNAME. Okay, the class name. So for enrollment and class, they will compare whether E1 and C1, E1.CNAME must be same as C1.CNAME. Similarly, for enrollment 2, E2.CNAME must be same with the class 2, because we have taken 2 enrollment. So that's why we are taking 2 classes. And the condition is what? E1's class name must not be same with E2 class name, because if this will be same, then it means what? You are comparing the same student or the same class with the same two classes with same value we are comparing. Okay, it is given 2 different classes. Okay, and the second condition is that they have meet, they must meet at the same time. So this is self-join operation. It is discussed in the relational algebra. Okay, so that's why I'm not covering more only. You can ask the concerned teacher to tell more about self-join operation. Okay, so okay, so this self-join in the YouTube video I have shared. I'll share you the link. I have given more explanation on that. Okay, I shared the YouTube link to them. You can discuss. Okay, so number 3, I'm copying here. Simply I'm copying here number 3. You can see here what I'm getting. What is the meaning of this? Here we are getting the student number. The name is Jayant. Okay, and it is enrolled to the same course. You can find Jayant is enrolled with which course? 106. Here 106 is enrolled with 4CSE 11 and 4CSE 12, and they are at the same time. You can see here. This is the problem. Okay, the question is what? Which student? They are enrolled with 2 courses. Okay, so this student is enrolled with 2 courses. So that's why we apply self-join enrollment with enrollment, so that this 106, again this 106 will come here. 106 will compare with 106, then we'll find 106 and the course names are different. Okay, if you remember, if you think, you will understand. Okay, 3 row you can take, you repeat it, apply first, what is that, cross join operation, then make it non-equivalent, then you will find students are comparing with you. So we will take the same student but different ID. So that's 106 for CS 11. I will get again 106 for CS 12. There I'll find the same S number but different C name. Again, this will be compared with class name. So it means what? The first enrollment will compare with the first class. The second enrollment will be compared with the second class. Then we'll find again 4 CSE 11. Okay, 4 CSE 11 is at the same time 10 o'clock, and 4 CSE 12 also at the same time 10 o'clock. So we'll find these are the students, sorry, these are the class name which are enrolled at the same time and two different students. Okay, so this is all about what is that? 3. Okay, query number 3 is a self-join operation. This is again not a nested query operation. Okay, so this is not a nested query operation. This is self-join operation. Enrollment E1, enrollment E2, class C1, class C2. Okay, and these conditions you can apply. You'll understand. If you don't understand, then you please see the video. For 4CC2 students, I have explained by giving some 2 to 3 examples. You can see. Okay, next coming to find the names of the students enrolled the maximum number of classes. So this thing I can tell. Okay, find the names of the students enrolled in the maximum number of classes. Okay, so you practice this one, what is written here, and maximum number of classes, what will do here? It is selecting S name from student S. So how to find maximum number of students? So select S number from enrollee group by S number. So what it will give? What it will give? It will give the name, the ID number of the students. Okay, from student S where S numbers. Again, some those who are prepared, this is wrong again. So I'm modifying this once here. What is the name of the question? This will be some little bit will be changed. Please don't follow this query. Find the names of the students enrolled in maximum number of classes. What will do? First, you need to find, okay, what are the details of the course and how many students are enrolled. So the number of students enrolled to class, I can get it from enrolled. Then I can sort it by descending order. Then I can face the first one, so that I'll find the first student, okay, which is enrolled with maximum number of classes. Okay, so now here I'm putting this. Okay, find the names of the students. I'm executing, then I'll stop. Okay. Another query you can practice. I don't have the time. Okay, so this is what you'll do. So first I'm fetching number query 4 to find the maximum number of students. Okay, oh sorry, having wait, someone is sending some message. Okay, see here, another way I'm doing, select S number, okay, from enrolled, okay, select S number from enrolled, group by S number, okay, group by S number, okay, group by S number. So what it will the and descending, I'm applying descending, order by count star descending, order by, this is the maximum, you change that query, order by S number, order by count star and descending, order by count star, order by count star. This is the query to find the maximum number of students and descending. Okay, so now see here what it is giving, it is giving okay, I can count that one also, count of star, count of star. So try to understand this query. So see here what it is giving, 102, 102 is assigned with 3 number of courses. The question, right, what is the questions here, again I'm repeating. Okay, number 4 I'll stop, number 5 you can practice. Number 4 is saying find the number of students enrolled in the maximum number of classes. Okay, maximum number of classes which student is enrolled. Okay, you can see here in this SQL what it is showing, it is showing 101 is enrolled with 3. So which student is enrolled with maximum number of classes, the first students. So that's why I don't want these details, I only want this one, the first row. So that's why what I did, I apply this group by operation. Okay, group by S number, group by S number, order by count star. If I apply this order by count star operation, then I can, and it is descending. So the first value or the first row will contain the maximum number of subjects. Okay, then I want only this row, so that's a operation called limit. So I'm putting what, which query I executed. Okay, simply I'm following this by limit. Okay, simply I'm adding a clause limit 1. If I add limit 1, so see here it is giving the student number which is enrolled with the maximum subject. It is not giving all students, it is giving what, the same query I have added with limit 1. So now I found what, the name student ID. The question is what, not ID, the question is what, the name of the student. Okay, so the question is name of the student. So how to get the name of the student, so you need to apply equation. Okay, so you need to apply equation operation with that, then you will find this result. Okay, so there is a equation, so you can move. Okay, so what the result we are getting, okay, you can put the equation operation, you will get the result. Okay, wait, I'm applying equation. Wait, I'm applying, select distinct of S name. Okay, so this clause I'm modifying with equation operation. Okay, select distinct of S name. If it is repeating, then it will not. Okay, from student table. Okay, where, so what it is returning, that one I'll compare, where S number in. Okay, where S number in equal to, you can compare with equal operator. Wrong, that's why it's not showing. DISNICT, distinct, TINCT. So this is what the all about fourth query. Here what I did, the okay, this is the you can see here, this is the inner query. This inner query is giving the number, the student number from enrollment which is assigned with maximum number of students. So how to get maximum number of students? So I applied descending as per the count star, then I applied limit 1. So limit 1 will give only the first row. Because once I applied descending, so it will sort it and the first row will contain the maximum value. So that's why I need the first one. So that's a limit 1. From the first one, I want only S number. So in that S number, I'm comparing with what? The student table. So distinct of student name from student, where S number equal to this inner query. So this is a inner query operation. Now see, The first inner query, the innermost query is giving the number, the student number from enrollment, which is assigned with maximum. So you cannot apply max operation here. Okay, usually what is that? Max operation is what is that? Um, mm, uh, for a numerical value we can apply, but this is not numerical value, remember, this is the course number. So that's why we need to count. Okay, so that max number and this max number is different. Okay, so if 100 numbers are given, 1 to 100 which is maximum, that you can find from max. But here no numbers are given, only it is given what? Course name. So you need to count first. Once you count, you cannot apply again max. So that's why I am applying limit operation after descending. Similarly, if it is asked minimum, then you make it ascending. Okay, order by simply count star, then limit 1. So if it is ascending order, then the first row will contain the minimum value. Then if that first row will be fetched and the number, so that will nothing but the student which is assigned with the minimum number of subject. So once we got the student number, then I'll compare with the outer query. Okay, the student name from student, where S number is what is given by this inner query. So this is what fourth